Hi, ball, everybody. Hey, hello. Filling in for Mr. David 3000 once again. I am the interim host, replacement host for the Dugout Crew Podcast. I'm Eric Lima. Joining me is a Houston Astros fan and a baseball fanatic as well, Mr. Jesse Havoc. Jesse,
Yes.
welcome in. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How have you been?
I've been doing pretty good. It's been a pretty good week so far, especially for the Red Sox. I'll get into that. So if you want to know where David 3000 is, he is at the Worcester Red Sox game, and he's meeting a Red Sox legend from the 80s, Mr. Oil Can Boyd himself. And that's a pitching legend who was part of that 86 team that went to the World Series, and we all know what happened then. If you study up in your Red Sox history, you know. All right, then we're going to get to the injuries right now. We got some baseball news from all over the ticker, so to speak. And let's see what we have here. We'll start with the injuries for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll exits the game with right shoulder soreness, is on the day-to-day list. So that's going to be could be hurtful for the Diamondbacks. Rockies third baseman Chris Bryant is on the verge to return this season on the Detroit series this weekend after being out since May 30th due to a left heel contusion. Hopefully that will help the Rockies. I don't know how good the Rockies have been, but I know the Rockies could use Chris Bryant in that lineup there. And you talk about your Houston Astros, Jesse. Framber Valdez will miss the next start due to right ankle soreness. So just one start, though. That shouldn't be a big deal, and hopefully he'll be all right. For the Yankees, Carlos Rodon to make his season debut this coming Friday. That's tomorrow versus the Cubs after making 3 starts in the minors, striking out 8 in their last start. In his last start, and I think I saw him do some rehab work on YouTube. And if you follow the minor league baseball channel on YouTube, Rodon was on there. And Miami, Jazz Chisholm Jr., oh boy. The dude was all over the base paths against the Red Sox. Against the Red Sox this past weekend, or probably earlier than that. Placed on a 10-day injury list with a left oblique strain. That's going to hurt him big time. And that's going to kind of slow him down on the base path. So hopefully he'll be okay. Clayton Kershaw for the LA Dodgers headed to the 15-day IL with left shoulder soreness. And Tampa Bay, I'll tell you what, Tampa Bay, they've been a monster in the American League East. Oh, we got comments. Got comments? Okay, cool. Tampa Bay, Shane McClanahan on a 15-day IL due to mid-back tightness. That could hurt the Rays a little bit. But 15-day DL, so that's going to. And Alex Manoah to start Friday versus the Tigers as Blue Jays manager John Schneider. Alex Manoah making a comeback. Hopefully he does well. I know he was really tough on Boston on the Red Sox a couple of points. The Angels' Mike Trout is on a 10-day IL due to left hamate bone fracture, and that would affect his All-Star status. And Shohei Ohtani will not be pitching the All-Star game to the blister on the right finger after giving up back-to-back home runs for the first time in his professional career. That's a rarity. When that happens to you, giving up back-to-back home runs for the first time in your professional career, that means you are probably one of the best pitchers ever to do something like that, and that's impressive. More injuries for the Dodgers, who've been trying to make a run for the playoffs again. Dustin May will undergo surgery to repair the flexor tendon in his right elbow. The team reliever. And Brusdar Gatterall has been dealing with an arm issue that caused him unavailable for the last 2 days. The Dodgers are going to, they're trying to climb up, and they're trying to get back in the playoffs, and you lose players like these, maybe key players in your bullpen. In Oakland, and I'm sure Joey at KCM will not be very happy to hear this, Esteury Ruiz will undergo RMI today after injuring his throwing shoulder yesterday to first base against the Tigers. So that's really, really bad. Um, the accomplishments. The Texas Rangers set a franchise record. The Rangers have been totally good. I mean,
Yes.
we Red Sox are currently battling. We lost. Sox lost to them in July 4th, 6-2, but the Red Sox did beat them with. I got to talk about more about that. They set a franchise record with 4 All-Stars. There's 4 players going to the All-Star game this year. But the Braves set a franchise record with 60 home runs in June. 61 home runs as a team in June. You know,
Damn.
you would think that losing Freddie Freeman would affect your lineup a little bit, but I'll tell you one thing: didn't affect them at all. That's for sure. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is the first player in American League National League history to have 20 plus home runs, 50 plus RBIs, and 35 plus stolen bases before the All-Star break. This kid's amazing. I'm telling you. That's why the Braves are very good. Some players like him, let me tell you. All right, transactions, call-ups update. Oh, the Rangers could go big here. They have went big because they have acquired Aroldis Chapman from the Royals.
Oh, wow.
Aroldis Chapman. He's going to be their new closer, and that makes the Rangers more of a threat than anything right now. They already got Nathan Eovaldi, who did well for the Red Sox. I mean, in fact, Nathan Eovaldi will be pitching against the Red Sox tonight, his old teammate. So this is going to be very interesting. The New York Mets have acquired Mariners right-hand pitcher Chris Flexen and Trevor Gott in exchange for Zach McKember. And then the Mets DFA Chris Flexen after getting him from Seattle. The Padres, who been known how to be a power hitter, they designated for assignment Nelson Cruz.
Yeah,
he's up there in age, but he can still hit the ball. I tell you what, I wouldn't
surprised
mind
he's still playing.
if Nelson Cruz still wants to play, I don't mind the Red Sox picking him up. And he's a veteran bat in the lineup. We can use one of those. The Baltimore called the number 2 prospect Colton Cowser. Baltimore's been doing pretty decent, and he's old like you, Eric. Shut up, David. Shut it. He's old like you.
David doesn't even have a strike.
He can still hit. He can still hit. He can still hit. Anyways, so if you, like I said, you add a veteran bat, if the other teams want a veteran bat like Nelson Cruz in the lineup, go get him. Let's say a Yankees reliever is removed for the rest of 2023 under domestic violence policy.
Ooh.
Who was that? The Yankees reliever. Let me look that up. There's something to miss here, David. I will go back to that. Let's see. Let's see. Yankees reliever removed. Oh wait, is it Domingo Germán? I'm just trying to. Right, let me find out who it is before we go on. We got plenty of time. There's only just 2 of us, so still.
That's crazy. We all know what happened to a certain crybaby for the LA Dodgers.
Okay, it's Jimmy Cordero. The name is Jimmy Cordero, 23. And he's suspended for the remainder of the 2023 season. So that could hurt the Yankees. Their bullpen. So that could hurt. That could hurt the Yankees. So that is really that could be really detrimental. We'll see what happens.
So he pulled a Trevor Bauer.
I don't know.
Didn't Trevor Bauer violate the?
I think it's more of a sexual harassment. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think so, and I think Trevor Bauer I think he's in Japan right now.
Yeah, it's.
I think he's in Japan, or he's probably staying away from the major leagues right now. With everything going on. But the Red Sox did sign Jorge Alfaro to a major league deal and designate for assignment Caleb Washington for assignment. So, and Jorge Alfaro, I heard he's at the game right now. As far as the Red Sox Rangers, maybe he'll be in the lineup. I don't know, or if he's a pitcher, he could help out in the bullpen. So. We're talking about other news, more like All-Star game, roster moves, and all that, and participation in the Home Run Derby. Vlad Guerrero Jr., the Blue Jays, will be participating in this year's Home Run Derby. Not surprised there because man can hit the ball.
Yep.
just like his old man. Um, and Corbin Carroll and Josh Jung, rookies, will be part of the All Star game. So All Star rookies, congratulations to Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Josh Jung of the Texas Rangers, who are playing Red Sox are playing right now. Mookie Betts will also be joining the 2023 Home Run Derby. I can attest.
Nice.
I can attest to this. I'm not surprised this is happening either. It's great because Mookie Betts can hit the ball, can hit the long ball. As a Red Sox fan, as a member, as a long time member of the Red Sox, he has done exactly that. So Mookie Betts, I'm glad. Pete Alonso, not a surprise there. Will be joining the Home Run Derby and trying to go for his third title, which Alonso can hit the ball. And Randy Arozarena from Tampa Bay will be in the Home Run Derby for the first time.
Nice.
So Randy Arozarena. So this guy's a fast riser. Let me tell you. Wander Franco selected the All-Star game to replace Aaron Judge. So Tampa Bay once again got another All-Star in there. Kyle Tucker will replace Mount for Houston. Will place Mike Trout on the All-Star team. So Kyle Tucker's an All-Star. Congratulations to him.
King Tucker.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said King Tucker is what they call him in Houston.
King Tucker. Okay. So Kyle Tucker. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And David Bednar will be heading to his second All-Star game. And Julio Rodriguez of Seattle will be replacing Yordan Alvarez in the All-Star game. So, and this is only his second season for Julio Rodriguez. So that's good. George Kirby selected the All-Star game to replace Shane McClanahan from Seattle. So Seattle's got two All-Stars. Luis Robert Jr. will participate in the Home Run Derby for Chicago. I think Luis Robert Jr., he can hit. And Adolis Garcia, 8th participant in the Home Run Derby. Talk about the current All-Star rosters, okay? Let me go into that. He wants me to talk about the current All-Star, okay? 2023 All-Star roster. All right. All-Star roster. Okay, we got the All-Star rosters here. I'm going to get them up there, MLB.com. Give me a second here. What is MLB doing? Come on, you slackers. Let's go. These computer technology is so amazing, isn't it? I'm glad we got all the time in the world because come on. This phone could go any faster. All right, here we go. Okay, as you know, well, unveiled selection show. Tuesday, several additions were made to rosters, and we mentioned that. George Kirby has been added. So, George Kirby. All right, so elected starters. Jonah Heim from Texas will start as the catcher. Yandy Diaz will start at first base for them. Marcus Semien will start in for Texas at second base. Josh Jung, Texas third baseman. Torrey Seager will be the shortstop for the starters. You're talking about 4 starters, so Texas is really on a roll. Mike Trout, as you know, it will be replaced. He was a starting outfielder, Randy Arozarena. So Mike Trout and Aaron Judge will be replaced in the lineup. So I don't know by whom as a starter. Shohei Ohtani will be the All-Star DH. So I'm not surprised there. And here's the reserves. From Kansas City Royals, Salvador Perez, Adley Rutschman from Baltimore. Infield, Vladimir Guerrero from Toronto, Whit Merrifield from Toronto, Bo Bichette from Toronto, Jose Ramirez from Cleveland, Wander Franco, as you know, but he was replaced, I do believe. So, no, he was added, and he was added. So, he was added. Okay, Luis Robert Jr. From Chicago, Austin Hayes from Baltimore, Yoldan Alvarez from Houston also got released. Not released. Replaced. Adolis Garcia from Texas. Kyle Tucker, obviously, Julio Rodriguez, and Brent Rooker from Oakland. This is a very, very shock move. All right. Pitchers, Shohei Ohtani. He's not going to start, though. I think Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole from the Yankees, Luis Castillo from Seattle, Sonny Gray from Minnesota, Nathan Eovaldi, the former Red Sox pitcher from Texas, Kevin Gausman from Toronto, Shane McClanahan, who's from Tampa Bay, but he's been replaced, Framber Valdez from Houston, Michael Lorenzen from Detroit, and George Kirby, who's been added as a right-hand pitcher. The relievers, Kenley Jansen of the Red Sox will be up there. So, yeah, Kenley Jansen deserved it. There's a couple of guys from the Red Sox have been snubbed, but might I digress. It's tough to be elected when you're on a last place team, but you're playing 500 ball though. That's the weird part. Emmanuel Clase from Cleveland, Felix Bautista from Baltimore, and Yennier Cano from Baltimore. So that's gonna be very interesting. Now for the National League, the Alexis starters: Sean Murphy is catcher from Atlanta. Freddie Freeman from the Dodgers, former Brave, will be at first base. Luis Reyes from Miami will be playing second base. Lauren Arenado from St. Louis will play third. Orlando Garcia from Orlando Garcia from Atlanta will play shortstop. Ronald Acuna Jr. from Atlanta Braves as well will be in the starting outfielder. Mookie Betts will be a starting outfielder. And Corbin Carroll, not Corbin Carroll, Corbin Carroll from Arizona. J.D. Martinez from the Dodgers, another former Red Sox, great, will be the DH for the National League. Reserves from the Dodgers: Will Smith as catcher, Elias Diaz from the Rockies catching, Matt Olson. And the first three replacement infielders is from Atlanta: Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley. Dansby Swanson from the Cubs will be a reserve infielder, as well as Pete Alonso from the Mets. For the reserve outfielders: Lourdes Gurdio Jr. from Arizona, Nick Castellanos from Philadelphia, Juan Soto from San Diego, and the DH Jorge Soler from the Miami Marlins. Pitchers. Zach Gallen from Arizona, Spencer Strider from Atlanta, as well as Bryce Elder from Atlanta, Justin Steele from Chicago, Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh, Justin Steele from the Chicago Cubs, Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jose Gray from Washington Nationals, Clayton Kershaw, who's been replaced from the Dodgers, and Marcus Stroman from the Cubs as well. The relievers, Alexis Diaz from Cincinnati. Kevin Henry will probably be pleased about that. Josh Hader from San Diego Padres, Devin Williams from the Milwaukee Brewers, Camilo Duvall from the San Francisco Giants, and added David Bednar. I think he's replacing Clayton Kershaw in the roster spot from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and as well. I got to look up Spencer Strider because I'm gonna, okay. I know someone from. Okay, I thought he was from New Bedford, man. Someone else. All right, what do you think of the lineups, the rosters, I should say?
They sound solid. Of course, a couple of injuries have taken out the.
Yeah, as we reported. So
yeah, but I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. But Texas, Texas has been. I'll tell you what, they've been amazing. They got all stars in their lineups, and that shows how good they are. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi and the Red Sox should be kicking themselves for not keeping him in a deal or something like that. So, yeah. So other than that, though, see Kelly Jensen in there, and like I said, there's a few snubs in there. Nasataka Yoshida should have been an all-star because he's been doing good. Verdugo has been a spark plug for that team as well. But that's the only two that I can think of. And Rafael Devers, he could be, but he's been struggling. So, but it's hard, being a part of a last place team is very tough to have a lot of all-stars in there. So but Kenley Jensen has been consistent. He's been very helpful to the team. So I am very, very happy with that. So Kenley Jensen, congratulations to him. Some of your Astros have made it in. So, what do you think of your some of your Astros making it in?
I'm glad. It's just sad to see Jordan Alvarez not being able to, play due to injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I.
To see Kyle Tucker there,
Mm,
a Gold Glover.
mm,
Yeah, that guy's a that guy's a good. That guy can hit, man.
mm. Yeah. So I gotta tell you, this is gonna be uh yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a very interesting All Star game for sure. Otani's not pitching, but he can definitely. I'm sure he can probably can hit the ball. Let's see what happens there. Totally excited about this. Is and I am really excited about what has been going on for the. Uh, I'm, I'm totally excited to see what's going to happen for the All Star game, and I think after the Oakland series over the weekend, I think that's where yeah, that's where the then the All Stars, and then we'll see what happens. Um, I'll get for the Red Sox. Okay, so it's time for our team reports. And Jesse, you, my man, we'll start off with your Houston Astros, the defending World Series champions. We have to. I have to remind some. We have to remind. You have to remind some of these people who do news
Yeah,
that the Astros are the defending World Series champs, mind you. I
yeah.
mean,
Even
so
though they have injury woes, they're still managing to win regardless.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, because they end up next man up methods mentality. So what you got for as far as Houston is concerned today?
As far as the series stretch, speaking of the Texans, the Texas Rangers,
Yeah,
the Astros in their first game beat them 5-3. Then second game, the Astros fall to them 2-5, and the Astros come back to win it in the third game 5-3, and then the final game, which the Astros managed to pull out a victory by a point, which is which shows how good the Texas Rangers are.
hey, listen, man, you play in a different division where most of the teams have fighting injuries. You had Shohei Otani, who's been blistered. I think he'll be all right though. Mike Trout has been hurt,
Yeah,
and then you got Oakland in the last place, and I think the only teams in the West that are pretty consistent is Houston and Texas, the
yeah.
Rangers and the Astros. And you got
So we also had a two-game series against the Rockies,
mhm,
which the first game we beat. So
mhm,
the second game I think we pretty much swept them. Yeah, we swept them. So today at 7:10 p.m. we're taking on the Mariners in a I think a four game series. So next is time to look at their injury reports.
mhm.
Altuve is out. His
Again,
status, yeah, his status is day to day. He with an oblique injury. He'll be on the 10-day injured list.
man, I feel bad for that guy. Didn't he get back from another injury?
Yeah. And I don't think Michael Brantley's coming back anytime soon. I think he's
Mm.
done. He has been shut down from baseball activities due to continued issues with his surgically repaired right shoulder. So Chandler Ramon of the Athletic Sport reports. And Jose Urquidy is also on the 6-day IL. And Jordan Alvarez is still on the 10-day. He took batting practice in the cage Sunday and swung at 60% intensity. Chandler Roma of the Athletic Sports reports. Will Wagner day to day. Lance McCullers is out indefinitely on the 60-day. Dixon
Oh,
Mercado day to day. Jaden Murray day to day. Luis Garcia's of course he's going to be out. Forrest Wheatley is day to day, and Ross Adolph out, and Jonathan Eric Sprinkle is out as
man.
well. Let's take a look at the transactions. What's been going on in Astroland?
Yeah, hopefully they have some help because I'll tell you one thing: all those injuries, the McCullers, he's supposed to be like one of their best pitchers.
Yeah, he's their ace. So we optioned Parker Mushke to Sugarland. We
Sugarland,
recalled Brandon Belak from Sugarland and
Sugarland.
option, yeah, the Sugarland Space Cowboys. That's their
Is that a
affiliate,
Triple A team? Is that a Triple A team?
the AAA team.
Oh my! Is
And
Sugarland? I gotta get
Sean,
that.
Sean Dubin is optioned back to Sugarland. And we got John Singleton, former draft pick for the Astros, to on a minor league contract on June 24th. So
I gotta kick that. Sugarland Space Cowboys.
yeah, they I forgot their
What
last.
a name! What a
And then
name
we
for a
got
Triple A
and then
team.
for our double A, and then for our double A team, they're the Corpus Christi Hooks.
Corpus Christi Hooks.
Yeah.
Sugarland. That city in Texas?
So we got Joel Cano from Cincinnati in exchange for cash considerations, and that's why we transferred McCullers to
Probably to make room for him.
reinstated Ryan Stanek from the bereavement family medical emergency leave. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much it from the
Wow.
current
I tell you what,
transactions.
you're Astros, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I feel for you. I seriously feel for you right now. I mean, the Astros
It-
are the main target because they are the defending World Series champs. I don't know who's going to be the new World Series champs. I got a hunch, like I said, I got a hunch Tampa Bay may take it this year.
yeah.
But
Tampa Bay looks primed to be
yeah,
the win.
to me, they're the front runners, in my opinion. Got even though I'm a Red Sox fan, got to be objective. This is the Dugout Crew Podcast. Got to be objective sometimes. We're hardcore fans of our favorite teams and our local teams, but you look at the whole big picture. Tampa Bay has been got it going on right now. I have to admit, right now. All right, so that's it for your report for the defending World Series champions.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, very good. You excellent job, Mr. Jesse Havoc, ladies and gentlemen, for the Houston Astros report. For me, my Red Sox report. Let's date back to let's date back to the White Sox series. The White Sox took 2-3 against Boston. In fact, the Red Sox ended up having a 5-game skid when after losing the last 2-3 against Chicago a couple of weeks ago. We're talking here. Skins coming in to Fenway once again for a homestand, a 3-game homestand, but with them against the Marlins. Marlins swept them right out of the books. Let me tell you, like Jazz Chisholm, man, that guy ran circles around the Red Sox on the bases. For goodness sakes, guy's got speed in the base pass. You never know. Sorry he got injured, and then we go to Toronto. We broke the 5-game skid by sweeping the Blue Jays in 3 games, which the Blue Jays used to give the Red Sox a hard time as well as the Baltimore major hard time. But we've been beating them. Red Sox shut out the Blue Jays last Friday, 5-0. And then this past Saturday, we beat the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-6 and then 5-4 this past Sunday. Then Monday off. This past Tuesday on Independence Day, the Red Sox lost to the Rangers 6-2. But then the Red Sox bounced back yet last night, 4-2 on a great pitching performance by Brian Bayo. And I want to tell you something about Brian Bayo. Okay, that dude should be pitcher of the week. Last 2 starts, he has been like untouchable. He's been like lights out. If he keeps this up, he may be our new ace. He may be the Red Sox new ace with Chris Sale on the DL right now. Brian Bayo is stepping up, and he's a very, people want to say, there was one, I think he had a stat that the last person who did this stat, and I forget which stat he was talking about, was Roger Clemens. I mean, to me, Brian Bayo is like the modern day, the newest version of Pedro Martinez, but even better. It's like Pedro Martinez with Roger Clemens type stats. It's unbelievable. It will be so. The Red Sox will take on the Rangers 7-10 and 7-10 and it will be Cutter Crawford going up against Nathan Valdi. Nathan Eovaldi, 10-3 with a 2.64 ERA for the Rangers.
Nice.
I mean, Reds. Well, Cutter Crawford's 3-4 with a 3.92 ERA, and this is the lineup that the Red Sox will be bringing against Texas. Uh, it will be Alex Verdugo in right field. Justin Turner will DH. Masataka bat third in left field. Rafael Devers third base batting fifth, batting sixth. Actually, wait. Verdugo will bat lead off in right field. Justin Turner bats second in DH. Masataka Yoshida bats third. Batting cleanup will be Rafael Devers batting fifth. And Duvall, Tristan Costas will be batting sixth, playing first base. Kiki Hernandez will be batting seventh, playing second base this time. David Hamilton will be at shortstop, batting eighth, and Connor Wong will be batting ninth. Cutter Crawford on the mound. Meanwhile, the Texas Rangers will have Marcus Semien, the All-Star, batting second. At second base, batting leadoff. Corey Seager, the shortstop, bats second. Nathaniel Lowe, batting third at playing first base. Adolis Garcia, another All-Star. At right field, batting cleanup. Josh Jung, another All-Star, will be batting fifth, playing third. Jonah Heim, another All-Star, batting sixth, playing catching. Ezekiel Duran will be the DH, batting seventh. Robbie Grossman, left field, batting eighth. And Leody Tavares batting ninth with Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. The Red Sox old friend. I think Nathan Eovaldi is going to make the Red Sox regret the day they've ever let him go. That's for sure. So we'll see what happens tonight. Meanwhile, the Red Sox and the after the Rangers leave town, in comes the hapless. I hate to say the word hapless because Oakland Athletics will be coming into town for a 3-game series, and which will be very interesting because I'll be missing that series. Well, I'll probably not miss that series because I'm going to be at a festival during that weekend. It all depends. I'm probably gonna miss the last game. I'll be at the Wellness City Festival here in New Bedford. That will start tomorrow, so to speak. And then after that 3-game series, the Red Sox will be on the road again against the Cubs for 3 games there in Wrigley Field, which is going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Then we're going to Oakland. The Red Sox going to Oakland for a 3-game series there. And then we come back, and there's an 86 rematch against the Mets. And following that, the Braves will be in town for a 2-game series. And then the Red Sox end July with a West Coast trip against the San Francisco Giants. So that is a big, big, big deal. That is a big deal. So that's my Red Sox report for today. I gotta tell you, so the All-Star game's coming, and I really, I gotta be honest. This is gonna be, like I said, gonna be a heck of an All-Star game. The home run derby is gonna be very interesting to see who's gonna win it. You know, I think Alonso is gonna try to win it for a third time. That's my pick for the home run derby. Alonso's just too good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, none of our Red Sox position players have made it to the All-Star game, so I don't think they'll be allowed in the home run derby, unfortunately. You know, and I don't know what to think, Jesse. What do you think about? What do you think how the second half is going to go for your Houston Astros?
I'm hoping we can. I'm hoping we can make the playoffs. You know, the way we're going, I mean, we're still winning, but we're still losing some games that we should win, like that that game against the Dodgers.
Yeah,
When Stanek got thrown out, and along with the old man Baker, I was like, you know, we gotta find. I mean, there's not much we can do, you know, to.
Yeah, you know, my Red Sox, you know, I'm very, very concerned about Boston right now. Even though, yeah, we're playing 500 ball, all well and good, but we got to get out. The Red Sox got to get out of the cellar sometimes. And they need to put like a win streak going. They need to get something going after the All-Star game. They need it. They really do need. They said they're going to get serious during the trade deadline, July 30th first. So that's something that they need. Red Sox do need to consider what's been going on in an overhaul. I mean, getting rid of key players. A lot of people are not very happy with the Red Sox fans. Not very happy with the front office the way they've handled the business.
Yeah.
And that's why we end up in last place right now. And I think ever since that cheating scandal that Alex Cora got involved in when he was at Houston, that kind of really affected the Red Sox a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic, when it happened, that affected them even more. In fact, I mean, who would have thought? And here's what I'm thinking. I'm looking back at everything that went on since the beginning of the 2020s. It took a pandemic to knock down, to end the New England sports dynasty. Because from 2000 to 2019, 12 championships. This is from all four the major sports teams: the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics. 12 championships between all four of these teams between the year 2000, and 2019. It took a pandemic and Tom Brady leaving New England to really have a downward spiral. And the Red Sox are in the middle of that right now. I mean, even the Celtics and Bruins are trying to bounce back and they're trying to go to the playoffs, but they couldn't hold their series leads. I mean, the Bruins, who had one of the best record, obviously, in hockey, and all of a sudden they got wiped out in the playoffs in the first round by a team that doesn't even belong in there. And that team went all the way to the Stanley Cup, but they got knocked out by Vegas. But
I was shocked at how the Celtics got exited the playoffs too. I was like,
yeah, because they were down, they were making a comeback, and then Miami just wiped them off, and then, but the Denver Nuggets were too good as well, and saying so it's. But what I'm trying to say is that the Red Sox right now, I mean, listen, sometimes it will take something like this to make a wake up call for the team, but. I can be impatient and say, we want more championships. We want the Red Sox to surpass the Yankees and all that, but that ain't going to happen. So what the Red Sox, way they play, we'll lose Chris Sale. We don't know how long we're going to be without him for. The Red Sox. Trevor Story is yet to make a comeback, and he's supposed to come back around this month.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's going to come back after the All-Star break. If that's the case, who do you leave out? Who do you leave out? And the Red Sox defense needs to clean up. Because I think the Red Sox led the league in errors, defensive errors. And I'm telling you something right now. And you lose a lot of key players. Jackie Bradley Jr. was a great defensive player. Xander Bogaerts was a pretty decent defensive player as well. And we lose him. The Red Sox lose him to San Diego, finding over $300 million, for goodness sakes. And I'm telling you, Kike Hernandez is struggling at short. I think he's more used to the outfield than the infield. But he was a shortstop for the Dodgers at one point. So it's so I have to say there's a lot of holes the Red Sox need to fill up.
Yeah.
In order for the Red Sox to really even consider making a run at the playoffs. I mean, if they get into the wild card, I'll be shocked. If they make it by on the wild card, I'd be shocked. And if they do, they ain't gonna make it further than the wild card.
I think that's where the Astros are headed, to the wild card.
Yeah, so it's
because the number one seed in that because I think the Texas Rangers are automatically going to be in the playoffs regardless.
Oh, they're definitely going to be the AL West champs. I mean, there is no doubt. The Texas Rangers are been very, very good. I mean, let's say adding Evaldi. I mean, even Jacob DeGrom out for the season.
Yeah.
And when Jacob DeGrom played for the Mets, he was one of their best pitchers. He was one of the best pitchers out there, Then, was it last week? Domingo Germán for the Yankees pitching a perfect game. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of people have been rooting against him because of the domestic violence, but like all that stuff's cleared out. And it's like you move on. I think the problem with this generation is they don't want to forget anything from the past. It's like, let's let the past haunt them and all that. It's the past. It's the past. You move on. and that's the
Yeah, some
main thing.
people even if the players did wrong and they make strides to be better, people are still wanting to you
Yeah,
know
they still want to
take
hang on.
yeah, it's
It's
taking
like
pitch at them.
yeah, it's like can you drop the pitchforks and torches and let the guy live his life
Yeah,
and let the guy do what he does best. I mean, listen, I'm a Red Sox fan. This guy's a Yankee player, but
yeah,
listen, whatever he does away from sports, that's his deal. That's his problem.
yeah,
But this is a huge thing. We haven't seen a perfect game in a long time, and Domingo Herman did it. And oh, I want to talk about this a little bit because Chris Rose and Trevor Plouffe spoken a little bit. UD Dela, second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. I got to talk about him for a bit. I know De La Cruz. Uh, um, um, Ellie De La Cruz bat inspection explained. Um, you know, and okay, according to SportingNews.com, Reds rookie is making waves around, so he can make a play or two and going legacy. He took Hosea Gray for the Nationals deep, and I think they did early in the game did a bat inspection. It was accosted by umpires on behalf of Davey Martinez. The clear plastic attachment hanging from De La Cruz's bat handle. It led to a prolonged examination. One eventually came up moot, and wasn't the same performance enhancing substance. I mean, Davey Martinez, but then it's one thing that like when the whole thing with Serger and Girardi happened. Remember that Girardi wanted to go checked out and everything else, and Serger's like, I'm sweating and all this, and then this was a couple seasons ago, I think, when Serger was playing for the Nationals at the time. But then and he was getting upset. I think he's glaring at Girardi, and then all of a sudden the Mets dugout starts yelling at Girardi and all that. And but it's like gamesmanship is very, very strategy and all that is good.
yeah,
But with the pitch clock and everything else, it makes it very difficult to play your strategy.
yeah,
And then you got David Martinez check his bat. And then when Ellie De La Cruz hit that home run, and then he's going around looking at the dugout and point and look at the bat now. Knobbing the bat. I don't know. It helps you do something. I don't know what it does. So it's like a plastic thing. And he says, well, I like how he plays the game. And he says, but I don't like his antics. Well, you shouldn't have ticked him off, Davey.
yeah,
I mean, you're a veteran of the game. You're getting under the skin of your opponent. You're going to make him, you're going to make it, I would not be surprised if they're going to try to do headhunting on Ellie De La Cruz, the Nationals. If they do that, umpires should be ejecting pictures for that. I'm sorry, but I think the bounty hunting is gonna stop. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like, okay, check this bat. Oh, you taunted us. You go out and deck him. Like I wouldn't do that. I would say, listen, shut the guy out by striking him out. Outsmart him. Don't come at him. I don't want It's like that's what I'd be done as a manager. Like if they didn't want to taunt us, I said we're striking you out the next pitch. And you make sure you get him out. And I don't want you to hit him either. I don't want you ejected from the ball game. That's what I would say. If I was a man. If I were Davey Martinez, if they play the Reds again, dude, you're going to have to run chill. Because if Ellie De La Cruz gets hit, I can guarantee you the Nationals pitcher, whoever pitched that pitch, later. Umpires will throw them out. Umpires not going to play around. They're probably going to know what's up.
umpires have been quick to eject people this season.
Yeah, well, you got the pitch clock and everything else, and everybody getting a little hot headed too.
Yeah,
And
everybody's been getting thrown out like for just minor infractions, man.
yeah, I mean, especially spring training when JT Realmuto, remember, he was trying to go for a baseball. He was like, he didn't know he was having a baseball, and the umpire tossed him the baseball. Oh, and he saw the pitcher has a ball. Oh, okay, and the umpire went to go put a ball in it, and he went like this. Umpire ejected him from the ball game for that because he thought he was showing him up. I'm like. He said, well, I thought, I saw, like they were throwing balls back and forth. Like, okay, he has a ball. Okay. Okay, never mind. He wasn't looking too. Muto wasn't looking like like that. Umpire did not know. I'm like, it was spring training games like that, you know. Yeah, but umpires, sometimes they get oversensitive about a lot of things. That's the way that's the way they are, unfortunately. That's umpires
Yeah.
for you. You know. Um we're trying to pass the time here because I want to, I'm sure David wants this thing to go for an hour. We got 15 minutes left of it. So uh and nobody's watching us. So um yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about umpires getting really, really oversensitive. You know, and then we get the pitch clock makes things worse. I think
Yeah.
because
I don't like the pitch clock. I remember I was sitting and watching the Astros Dodgers game that Saturday when it was on, and it felt like the game just went.
yeah, and the game goes it goes fly by fast. And don't get me wrong, it works from time to time, but and sometimes you want to make sure the hitter reads the signs and everything else. And I think another good thing about the pitch clock too is that you can prevent hitters and prevent other fielders, runners from stealing other signs.
Yeah.
And that could be like because you have to go quick. You have to go quick about it. And and players complain about that and everything else, like, oh, you're stealing our signs and all that. And I gotta tell you, but I you know I gotta tell you, it's been aggravating, this whole thing of the pitch clock.
Yeah.
Why why
Some like it, some don't. I don't
yeah
like the pitch clock because it
yeah
screws with the strategy. It screws with the pitcher. It
and
makes a
pitchers
pitcher.
it makes pitchers have to pitch real fast too, and that could
Yeah.
like I said, makes pitchers wear out their arms. They can get hurt, and we saw a lot of injuries happen. It's like a lot of people just don't, you know, it's like you don't think clearly about umpires. I'm sure umpires were crying about, well, the game's too slow, players take too long, all that. Sometimes gamesmanship and strategy come into play. It,
Yeah.
and sometimes mind games. You know, I'm sure fans get upset every time they go over and pitch to the over to make a pickoff attempt and all that. They
Yeah.
limited that, like 3 pickoff attempts and everything. It was like the next pickoff attempt, either save, take your base or something like that. But I think it's pretty good. But the fact of the matter is that um uh sometimes speeding up the game could take a lot of strategy away from teams and what their teams are thinking. And then you know so yeah, we saw a lot of quick hooks, a lot of umps this year. And I don't know if they're super sensitive to the fact of what the words, because in this generation nowadays people in this generation are oversensitive about a lot of
Yeah.
things. And just and in this case in baseball, umpires get more sensitive than anything. you
Yeah.
know
And
even if
also, you can't taunt no more without somebody getting offended, or a player getting offended.
or yeah, and then also they get ejected from the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like some of the players will have like second call you missed or something like that. Umpires get oversensitive, and like unless you say a certain
Oh,
magic,
yeah.
like back in the day, all right, you say a magic word or a swear or something like that, you're out.
Yeah.
You get thrown out of the game. Nowadays, it's like, oh, you missed this call, you missed that call. You don't swear, you don't know that the umpire ejected. You know, it's like I can understand you don't want to, you're not supposed to argue balls and strikes. You know, you know, what the best example of not saying a word and getting through out would be Anthony Rendon when he played for Washington.
Yeah.
I remember when there was I forget who they were playing. Strike 3 call, and Anthony Rendon just like tosses the bat, like, yeah, take off the gloves, didn't say a word, like, and back in his mind, me thinking, oh well, I give up. Like you just toss the bat, and go, I give up. Take off the helmet. Not say a word. Didn't look at the ump. Umpire just looks at that. You're out. You know. Oh boy. So it's like Anthony Rendon's like a little kid. What did I do? What did I say? I didn't say a word. He didn't even say what. And David Martinez went off too.
And then you have the ones that jaw with the with the umpires.
Yeah. Right. Earl Weaver was the late great Earl Weaver was good at that. You know, he likes to jaw at the umpires. And oh there was a YouTube video. Finally, they showed the whole thing uncensored. It was against Detroit in a game. I think it was 1980, I believe. And he said, "You're here just to f us." Umpire ejection for that. You know. I was like, "There's your magic word." It's good, and they still argue. Oh boy, and they argue too, man. You know, they were arguing even after the guy gets ejected. He starts arguing. But then I think the
There's
lesson,
those bench clearing ones too.
the bench clearing brawls, holy crap! Well, there's not a whole lot of them this season.
Yeah.
There's not. I think ever since the pandemic happened, they kind of like scaled back on the bench clearing brawls. All people jumping out, the dugouts. They're like, talking, just doing more than talking. But then you got the Padres Braves series game in 1984. There was so many ejections to the point where the umpires and everybody else, for your safety, Padres, don't be in the dugout. They let Atlanta be in the dugout, but for the Padres safety, don't be in the dugout unless you're up at bat, next up at bat. That brawl got so very bad. Check it up on YouTube. And because it's that crazy. Padres Braves 84. It was a wild brawl. There was so many ejections in that game. It was, oh my gosh.
I was thinking about doing that, like when I do my podcast, like having people on and us reviewing the brawls or something stupid stuff that happens in sports where people get ejected. That would be funny just to laugh at. And
yeah, just like but like back then, the brawls were like nuts. But here's here's a cool thing. Jason Varitek, when he, that famous picture of him shoving the glove in A-Rod's face.
Yeah.
You remember that, Jesse? This is how much class this man has. He refuses to sign that pick. And I can understand why. Because to him, he wants to be the ultimate professional player. And I think in his mind, when he shoved that glove in A-Rod's face, he doesn't think that's professional. And I got to respect Jason Varitek for not wanting to sign. And everybody loved it. People could talk to him about it and everything else, but he does not want to sign that picture, which I can understand completely. Because that, was for him, that's not showing professionality. If you sign that picture, with him shoving a glove in a player's face, doesn't matter who it is, not professional at all. And for Jason Varitek to refuse to sign that picture, he earned my respect a little bit more for it. Like if I, unless you're, a professional wrestler and all that, fighting somebody, that's one thing. But we're talking about baseball. That's the only difference, And Jason Varitek got a lot of respect for him. And sure, I think he's got a lot of respect for A-Rod as well. You know what I mean? No matter how much of a jerk A-Rod could be with steroids and all this good stuff and everything else, him dating J-Lo, him breaking up with J-Lo and all that, I'm sure Jason Varitek in the back of his mind has a little bit of respect for A-Rod. A little bit.
Didn't A-Rod date Tori Wilson?
At one point, yes, he did.
I remember
that relationship didn't work.
He lucky guy, man.
Well, Tori Wilson still looks good for her age, let me tell you. Yeah. But A-Rod's doing his I gotta talk about this. Speaking of Red Sox, Yankees, and all that good stuff. Derek Jeter made his debut being the analyst for Fox MLB baseball. So David Ortiz gave him a gift. a Red Sox jersey with his name and number on it. He's like,
Oh,
he's like, and it was supposed to be a joke. It was like a little joke, and they laughed about it. Oh, you'll not see. He joke. Derek Jeter joked about it. He said, "Oh, you'll not see me next season or next game or like that." Act like he's quitting, but no, you know.
see,
But
I like ribbing like that. Fun
yeah,
ribbing.
yeah. David Ortiz is a fun guy. He always a lot of respect for the players. Like Derek Jeter's got, there's a Yankee player that I respect is Derek Jeter because shows a lot of class during the game of baseball. A lot of people would not like him and all that, but listen, he goes out there and plays. He rarely gets ejected. Because I don't think you ever hear Derek Jeter getting ejected from a ball game. Not to my knowledge. I'll have to look that up to make sure if I'm right about that. But we're talking baseball. Why not? We got 4 more minutes. So we're still talking baseball. The Dugout Crew Podcast. I forget. This is episode 15. Episode 16. Episode 16.
Yeah.
Thank you. I see it up there. Stream Elements. Thank you. From Twitch. Episode 16. I guess let's say Derek Jeter, classy guy. I mean, I remember when he got his final base hit at Fenway Park, goes up to Clay Buchholz, shakes his hand during the game. Who does that? Who does that? It's unbelievable. The guy has so much respect. The Red Sox showed Derek Jeter. Even he got an ovation from folks at Fenway class guy. Mariano Rivera, same thing. Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter. I'm sure the Red Sox fans do respect those two guys because they did a lot for the Yankees and all. But
Yeah.
even though we can hate the Yankees all we want, but there's a lot of players on the team that I respect. I mean, Aaron Judge before his injury, he's been an unbelievable player. 62 homers in one season last year. Amazing. Guys but he's a big dude, 6'7". He's a big man. So just unbelievable. Unbelievable skills, And I it's unbelievable how we we baseball as I've been a Red Sox fan since 1986 when they were hot at the time. When they were hot at the time, and then all of a sudden they make the playoffs. They beat the Angels in 7 games, and we had guys like Dave Henderson, Dwight Evans, Jim Rice, Roger Clemens, Bruce Hurst, Calvin Schiraldi, Bob Stanley was a veteran reliever on that team, and everything else in between. It's unbelievable. And we had young up and coming players in the 80s like Mike Greenwell, Ellis Burks. Oakland had Canseco, McGuire. I mean, I was kind of spoiled with the players that we had. I don't know about you, but I was spoiled with a lot of players that we had in Major League Baseball.
I love Jeff Bagwell. I love Ken Griffey Jr., but it was sad seeing Jeff Bagwell go out like that, with a shoulder issues.
And we Red Sox had to train him away for Larry Anderson. Look how well that turned out for us. But anyways, we're about 2 minutes away from Dugout Crew Podcast episode 16 to complete. Any last minute words you need to say, Jesse, before we go for today?
No. How about you?
Well, that will be wrapping. I'll be wrapping things up here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Jesse Havoc here for tuning in, and David will be back next week. Hopefully, he's like I said, at the Worcester Red Sox game, being Oil Can Boyd. That's another guy I mentioned. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. So goodbye for now, and hope your life hits you a home run. See you for the Dugout Crew Podcast, episode 16. Peace.